All right, we got a Fox News alert. A pair of manhunts intensifying for the killers of these two police officers in two separate states. Pennsylvania identifying Ramal Holt as the murderer, wanted for killing 25-year-old Brian Shaw last Friday night. This as a reward hits $215,000 for info on the killer of veteran Baltimore police detective Sean Suter, shot at a crime scene last week. Here to discuss this and where we're going, because these aren't isolated incidents, Steve Cardigan, former Westchester County Police Chief, Sergeant and former Chief Investigator for the New York City Police Department of Investigations, Dr. Darren Porcher, U.S. Army veteran, former NYPD Lieutenant, and Steve Rogers, retired Lieutenant Detective for the Nutley, New Jersey Police Department and former member of the FBI Joint Terrorist Task Force. We should say, too, for you, Steve, you had new book out called New Superpower for Women. So great. Yes. So, Steve, let's start with you. You see these two incidents, they're horrific. But sadly, it's a bigger story. These are repeat violators.
They're repeat violators, Brian, and we have a lot to make up for. The previous administration, starting from Sergeant Crowley and Henry Louis Gates, when Beergate, when President Obama came out and maligned the Cambridge Police Department. That's where it started. That's where politicians were able and allowed to talk about police officer incidents before they had their facts. So with this new administration, we're going to move forward with a pro-police atmosphere and pro-military, and I believe that that's going to start the break of what we've suffered for the last 8 years.
Darren, you just say this isn't just an attack on two officers. This is an attack on free society. In what respect?
Well, we have to take into consideration the social contract. The social contract affords us protections as citizens, and law enforcement is the first line of defense in protecting us. Oftentimes, we have to look at the symbiotic relationship between police and community. We're joined as the same, and it's important that citizens give this information to police when we have these issues, and so they need to conjoin in such type of a relationship. Moving forward, we have to take in consideration, we had the two officers that were killed, the one that was in Baltimore and the one that was killed in Pennsylvania. That is a travesty to us as an American society. Therefore, an attack on police is an attack on us as a society.
It's overall a lack of respect and a lack of fear of retribution or what's going to happen if I kill this cop. I'm in prison for life. You think the courts have let us down?
Oh, absolutely. Brian, a couple of things. One is the courts have let us down because they continuously release career criminals, and they go back out on the streets, and here we have them killing police officers, number one. And by the way, let me add that at least President Trump has set into motion putting more conservatives on the courts to reverse that trend. Number two, we have to start investing in two-man patrol units, okay? There are a lot of one-man patrol units around the country. The investment from local, county, state, and in some cases federal government has to be made to put two cops in these cars.
Steve, the problem is the word's getting out. No one wants to be a law enforcement official. It used to be looked at differently by society, but over the last 5 to 8 years, things seem to have switched. You're not getting the numbers you used to or the quality you used to.
No, there has been a shift, Brian, and we need more training for our police officers. I don't think that there's agencies that will be able to do two-man police cars. We need better training. We need better community relations. The attack on police officers, they attack the core of society. So we need to bring together the community and the police officers and approach this in a different way.
And Darren, something else happened. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. At Brooklyn College in particular, they have now decided that they will not let cops even use the bathroom, just an external one at the edge of campus, which is a mess. That lack of respect for law enforcement here in New York City, that's unbelievable.
I think that's a byproduct of the administration we have in play. The de Blasio administration has failed on many aspects of forging that relationship between police and community. And it's just unfortunate. It's a travesty to New Yorkers that he was reelected.
But the student body doesn't want them on. What's going on with the next generation of Americans?
I think the Community Affairs Bureau and the NYPD can prove to be an intricate component in bridging the two entities. It's a sorrowful state, but I'm confident that we have great citizens in this place like New York City that can overcome these types of issues.
Right. And Steve, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. I'll get you next time.
Thank you,
but yeah, this is an ongoing debate. We all suffer when law enforcement doesn't feel empowered. Thanks to you guys for what you do.